All right, we got to get into it.
All right, so big question. Let's start with Lexi. What's your favorite ship in the Avatarverse?
I am a huge... Oh, no. You know what's coming,
What's
right?
coming?
You know what's coming?
I don't know.
I'm a Zutara fan.
Forever, let's go.
There it is.
Yup.
The question is Amy Tess, who loves Katara, is going to have some strong feelings, possibly
Amy Tess,
either way.
what's your favorite
I don't know what
ship?
I don't know what's going to happen.
I am a Kataang girly,
Okay.
I have to say.
Balance,
but
baby.
I
We got it
totally
balanced right here on the
understand
show.
Zutara. I'm not like aggressively anti-Zutara.
I like to have it
Uh-huh.
represented on both sides.
I mean, I
like to
can
have it
dig it,
represented.
you know, canon.
Yeah,
Kataang is
I just
cool.
think Kataang is like many of the I don't know, like concerns people have about Kataang. I just feel like you're not reading closely enough. I also
Many
think
of
there
the
are some
concerns
scenes.
people have about
I don't know. I feel like
have
some
a
of the
lot of
scenes
concerns
that
about
needed to
Zutara.
happen
A lot of
in, like,
concerns
There's
about
a lot of
Zutara.
concerns. There's a lot of concerns all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in season 3, I wish that Aang and Katara had more one-on-one time, because I feel like there were so many conversations that needed to happen, and there's obviously so many things they have to pack in. But in my mind, I just convinced myself those conversations did happen, and then I'm like on the Kataang
They
train.
probably
They had
happened.
2 whole seasons. We had snippets of Zutara, snippets. And I was like, no, but like she like healed him slowly
Yeah.
through osmosis, kind
Yeah.
of. Like
Yeah.
healed
No,
his
she healed him.
his
She healed
heart.
him. You know,
So,
she healed his heart.
it's just the payoff, I think, would have been a bit bigger. Like, he had such a great character arc. So I'm kind of like, he just, the payoff to me would have felt a little bigger to have.
You know
her.
what though? I also love a good platonic friendship, like the power of that. I feel like we should ship friendships more, you know? Like it doesn't all have to be about romantic relationships.
This
And
is
in
true.
that sense,
This
I
is
feel
true.
like Zutara is so powerful.
Ooh,
I
that's
am
very
seeing them
true.
like lifelong friends. Again, I'm not anti-Zutara, but
Yeah.
I just think that even their friendship is so
No, I can feel
powerful,
that.
and
The
they've got a lot going for
friendship
them.
is very cool. I don't know how May feels about Katara hanging out around Zuko with that friendship.
Yeah.
May's like, hold up a second. She's what?
Yeah.
She doesn't
She's
strike me
a-
as a jealous
she's
girl in
a
that
homie.
way.
May would
No.
just be like,
Whatever.
I guess it is what
In fact,
it is.
May and Katara would team up and like make fun of Zuko. I feel like
It's possible.
they'd have a great time teasing
That's a
him.
really good point.
You know what? But I wanna like bounce off, but also argue the point that like, why is it gotta be like to me it just falls into the trope of like Aang sees Katara, the first thing coming out of that iceberg, and then boom, he's in love with her for the whole show. So I'm kind of like, but don't we play into the trope of like, you rescued me and now I'm in love with you? Like, there, to me, I was like, no,
true.
but like, let's focus on that beauty of the friendship of like, you rescued me, but I don't have to fall in love with you. Like, to me, that would have been a little sweeter.
I
but,
think
but
Aang
you know,
needs to date around a little more. He only first girl you see getting out the
I
iceberg.
was like, don't marry the first person you
as
see.
my friend, Aang, like I'm gonna tell you, shop around a little bit. You might come back to Katara, which is cool, but never go for the first. Wherever you get out of an iceberg, never the first girl. Never the first girl out of the iceberg.
I've never
Shop
thought
around.
about this, but potentially also one of the first girls he's seen ever.
Yes,
Ever.
that's what I'm like. So don't
Like-
let's be friends for
Homie, don't ever just fall for the first girl you ever see.
right. So I'm like,
You're in trouble.
If you love her, let her
Bro,
go.
you
Let
need
her
to
experiment.
do
And if she
something.
loves you, she'll come back.
Yeah.
I disagree, but if we got into it, we'd be talking for a long time. So
No, this is actually good
maybe
for
we
me
move.
because this is just eating into all the time we're supposed to be talking about the Fire Nation being great.
I know what happened to this Fire Nation conversation.
Well,
we're about
we're
to
getting
have.
there. We're getting there. But we got to know, before we move on, we got to know the big question.
Amy Tess, if you were a bender in the Avatarverse, what kind of bender would you be?
I would like to be a waterbender, but I think personality-wise, and if you ask any of my friends, they're gonna say firebender.
Fire Nation,
So in-
let's go.
Okay.
I think because I'm just very like, I don't know.
And your nails are very
your
Fire
nails,
Nation.
your
Look at
nails
those
are
nails.
fire.
The nails
Your
are dead giveaway.
Fire.
But the way I like to think about it is I am a waterbender in the way that Korra is a waterbender.
There you
which
go.
really means, like firebender personality, but also
yes.
all the waterbender qualities.
I
That's
respect
my
that.
ideal.
I deeply
Yeah.
respect that.
I can dig that.
I've always thought of myself as an earthbender, specifically because I wanted to be a metal bender.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was very stubborn growing up, so I was like, I could be hard-headed like a rock.
Yeah.
My parents definitely accused me once or twice of being stubborn like a rock, so I was like, it tracks, it's fine.
Yeah. Check.
And I was always playing around in the dirt as a kid, and I was like, this is it. I'm in my element. I'm great. I mean, it probably had more to do with I loved Lord of the Rings, so I'd run around when I would be in nature and be like, I am exploring. But it's fine. All
so
about the earth.
Earthbender? All
Through
day?
and through.
Middle
Love it.
Earthbender? Middle Earthbender?
Every single quiz on the internet that's like, what kind of bender are you? I've taken it, being like, okay, am I going to get some sort of split thing? Like, you get like a secondary and a first Harry Potter house. I'm like, okay, I'll probably have a secondary bender. Every single quiz ever, earthbending. So I'm like, nope.
Good folks in the Earth Kingdom. Good folks out there.
But also good folks in the
Fire Nation. Good folks in the Fire Nation.
It's not just the folks.
Famously.
It's not just the folks in the Fire Nation we want to celebrate. We want to celebrate everything about the Fire Nation that appeals. We could be talking about some landscape, the geography of it.
Yeah.
I remember just recently when we did the Southern Raiders, I was like, wait a minute, where is that? That guard's house is sweet. That former soldier's house is sweet.
Architecture
got a
out there is
little
great.
river to the sea. You got the cliff. You got the trees. Like
Fashion. I don't
Ember
think the
Island.
gang hasn't looked as good as they've looked in Fire Nation fashion. The whole gang.
I mean, I like Water Tribe fashion also, but like whatever. Cool. And Earth Kingdom, what they were in Boston Say, there's some good stuff going on there. But no, very, very cool fashion. Very cool. I mean, listen, you think Fire Nation, you don't necessarily expect to see some of the beautiful landscape that you see once you're there. And
nice people. There's
I'm on
like
board.
a lot of villains.
Iceland.
There's all these
inspiration.
villains that people think about in the Fire Nation, which is, I'm not discrediting. We have done some things that are, not nice.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. People have concerns.
Yeah.
People have concerns.
Complicated
Tess.
history.
Concerns about things that happen in the Fire Nation. However,
Yeah.
there are some really good folks from the Fire Nation.
Absolutely.
Good
If we
folks.
didn't have if the folks weren't wonderful, we wouldn't have those wonderful festivals. We wouldn't have theater. We wouldn't have good food. All of that is born out of the history of the Fire Nation being more than just someone like Sozin having a little problem.
I mean,
And by little, I mean
Sozin
huge.
He's not a good one. Sozin's not.
He's
I mean,
not the best.
he's
He needed
not
a
the
therapist.
best.
We've
He
established he needed
did.
a therapist.
He just needed therapy.
Let's
That's what I
not
love about
concentrate on
season
Sozin.
3, though.
Let's not concentrate on Sozin. We know.
Tell us what you love about season 3, Amy Tess.
I don't think that the show could have finished without spending so much time in the Fire Nation. Yeah, so the gang could see that it's a real place that goes beyond Ozai and Empire and whatever, right? I think it's so cool.
I agree. And even think about Kuzon. We very early on, we get this little seed planted, and I think it's such an important reminder. And that talk about a sort of thrown away thing. It's like, oh, Kuzon is oh, cool. He had a friend. Yeah. He was in the Fire Nation, whatever, Hotman.
Right.
But when you think about it from a storytelling perspective, it's really important for us to know that Aang does not hold he's not holding something against the Fire Nation. He has positive associations
That's
with
true.
it. He's not coming into it with the same kind of attitude, despite everything that's happened, that Katara and Sokka have, because of course their experience has been extremely limited and extremely negative. So I think it's very cool that we have Aang coming in and just dropping those little nuggets in there. I think are really important to reminding us that you don't have to just hate the Fire Nation. You don't have to be Jet.
No, I know.
No offense to you about your love of Jet.
A lot stems from the royal family.
Yeah.
The royal
Again, so
family
this little bit of
has some concerns.
Bend your ear for ad-free episodes with Avatar Braving the Elements Premium.
Subscribe today on Apple Podcasts.